please welcome Candy Ball.
What a great turnout, and it was a perfect intro, you guys introducing each other, because that's what personal branding is all about. It's about finding the people that you like to work with, you like to work for, and you like to be around, and working that into your life and your business. Like, we can all collaborate and partner, and my big system is all about using the leverage that you have in your own day-to-day businesses, in your own day-to-day lives, the sports you do, the churches you go to, the music you listen to, the restaurants you go to in your local communities, and you layer that all together and you build yourself a giant brand that can't be beat in any market. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. All right. The course outline for today. So we're going to talk about the art of our authentic personal brand, and we started talking about it a little bit already. But it's an art only because the human being, we're all niche. We're all deep down niche. We can't niche down to one thing because we're not one niche, right? You can use your niches across all places, and we can just alleviate the fact of any community, any barriers whatsoever. We're all humans, and we all like similar things. So when we grow on that base, our world can be so huge. And that's more like personal branding. The world doesn't go into, I want to work with the biggest brand because I only trust the biggest brand because they've sold the most. And why would they not sell the most if they weren't the best? Now, social media and the internet has made the world a lot smaller, so you can get to know the people that you're working with, so you can say, hey, she might be brand new, but I know she's a hard worker. I know she's a good mom. I know she's a veteran. So they're looking to your personality. And they don't care what you do. You could be selling jellyfish on the side of the road, and if they like that, they would buy it from you because you're cool online, or smart online, or grumpy online, or anything. Whatever you are for real, you don't have to fit in anybody else's box. This is such a better way of life, I promise. So mindset mastery. Mindset is big here because you really do have to get down and say, who am I? Who do I want to be? What do I look like? Am I just trying to copy somebody? What is my reason for being in business? And if you want to build a personal brand so that you can make more money, you need to go back to cold calling, because that's not going to do it. If you're a cool person and the more people that know you and the more people would want to work with you for real, this is your class. Personal branding is the new way people are doing business. Personal branding is like, I found to find success in my life if I could get paid for being myself. That's for me, there's no other level of success, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about mindset, we're going to talk about ABCs, always be creating. How many people in this room are old enough to know ABC, always be closing? Yay, okay, so some people are going to get it in just a second. Alright, so we're going to talk about leveraging your personal brand. That's kind of what we did here. One of us, it would be harder for me to put this together with my schedule, but with all three of us working together, her doing the flyers, promoting, getting the video stuff ready to go, getting the lights, my assistant being here videoing for me. Like, it takes more than one person. You just can't do it by yourself. So my favorite thing I've ever done was when I got to get on stage to accept the Leadership Award in Vegas. I wore a $1,000 Giovanni dress, and I felt like $1 million, and I was in Vegas, right? It looked like an ice skating suit, so it was nude with jewels attached to it, right? I did an experiment. I didn't wear my name tag, I just walked through, and I watched everybody look at me, and I watched everybody see how they look at me, how they talk to me, all that. And then when I was walking up to give my speech, I got on stage and I said, she speaks. How quickly we judge people because of what they're wearing. Not this is the biggest day of my life, and I wanted to look good, and I wanted to feel good, and I was in Vegas, and I love sparkles, and I love pink, and now I'm about to go blow your minds. So everybody, I had their attention, and that's what you can do by being yourself, because it's not scary to be you, I don't think, unless you're weird, but I don't think. Alright, all of this leads into attracting your ideal clients, because if you're attaching yourself to people that you like to do the same things and you're like-minded, the people that are attached to them are going to be, the same thing. All leading up to powerful networking, how we can leverage our personal brand to not just build ourselves, but our friends, and we all go together faster. Boom. And then we go skills learned in this class, cross-pollinating, cross-posting on all social media platforms, and content batching. So I wanted to leave you guys with some, tangible things. If you open up your workbook along the way, we're going to have some questions that are in there. And while we're doing this, I want you to think, don't think honest, true to yourself. Like really, really, really what you want to be, what you want to do. Stuff like that. Like we're building right here, if you take this seriously, we're building your strategy right here, the beginning of it, okay? This is one of my favorite quotes, because this is really what got me to where I am today, how I did so good in business. Your personal brand is your reputation, and your reputation in perpetuity is the foundation of your career. This goes back to my year one. People always want to know, how'd you sell 50 houses in 1 year as an independent agent, no team, right? In fact, I got 5 designations from the National Association of Realtors my first year, including the CRS, which took me about 80 hours of class. I volunteered with Habitat for Humanity, the Veterans Association of Realtors, the Women's Association of Realtors, and I got involved with the Young Professionals Network also that same year. That same year, I didn't sell a house for 3 months. And then everything I started doing was working, because I started out doing 6 open houses a week. I got on my little podcast, I dropped my kid off at daycare, and I'm like, all right, business, come to me, right? Well, it didn't really work like that, but I said, okay, well, I'm gonna watch podcasts. I watch a podcast that's similar to something here, and the person said, I got 5 listings my first 30 days by doing 30 open houses in 30 days. I had a kid, so I couldn't do that. I did 6 open houses a week for 3 months. That first month when my first deal hit, I slowed down a little bit because I had money. I had to start like doing transaction work, and I was in that little nightmare, right? But I did 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 8. I think 8 in my first year was my biggest amount in 1 month that I sold. And it all built off of open house. I didn't spend a dime on advertising. In 6 months. And in 6 months I sold 20 houses, and I watched another podcast that said you need to reinvest in yourself. So I took 30% of my business and I started putting it into my marketing. Okay? And that's what I did. That's how I built it. I didn't want to come from desperation mode. I wanted to come from something that I built and that could sustain my growth, my own self, because that's what being a business owner is. That's really important. So when you're building your brand, think about some of the things in here. What words do your clients use to describe your brand? If you don't have a brand, what do your friends say you are? You like to party? Are you always showing up on time? Are you always late? Are you always looking good? Are you sometimes looking good and sometimes not? You say the F word all the time. You know, guilty. You're kind of doing, or something. It's a title company. I gotta be all proper. But that's not a word I would use to describe myself in real life. I would describe myself as a badass, legit. Right? Like I was a police officer, and I was a veteran. I took 200 collisions in my life and walked away from both. Both of those were over 50 miles an hour. I climbed out of a bad marriage. I lost everything. I'm getting it back. Like I decided that I couldn't do real estate because I couldn't be around my kids enough. And I just jumped on the deep end and said I'm going to be a speaker and an educator, and that's what I'm going to do because I did something big, and I think I can tell people how to do it. And it came from failing, trying to teach teams, figured out I don't know how to teach agents who don't know how to sell houses to sell houses. That was not hard for me. I don't understand. And when somebody's like, oh, I don't know what's going on, I don't know if I'm getting more deals and stuff, and I look at the leads and I look at the stuff that I'm giving that I didn't have when I got busy myself, I just don't know why. So instead I'm like, well, maybe it's my personality, so I need to teach a little bit more about who I am as a person. And so once I started doing that and my social media exploded, I started teaching other people how to do that, and they started building their brands too across all businesses, not just real estate. So it works when you're top of mind marketing. My moving truck, I bought a moving truck, it's got my face on it like 15 foot in the air. Everybody was joking me for it, but guess what? Ask who the realtor in that town is. I wonder whose name's gonna pop up. So this is your personal brand blueprint. This is what I want you guys to take home now. This, if you take it seriously and you really do write down, so take about 5 minutes and I'll be quiet, to what words do your clients use to describe your brand currently, right now? If somebody, what you think about your best client and your worst client, and your regular client, just write down what you would think that they would say about you. While you're writing, I'll go ahead and start saying what I wrote down. I think my clients would say I'm fast-paced. Most of them feel like they need to take a nap after they talk to me. Other realtors say that after I interview them, they want to go run through a wall. And I'm like, oh, fuck it, do it. You just go, because I'm high energy all the time. It's just naturally me. I say joyful. I say honest. I say friend. There hasn't been a client that I did a good job for that didn't call me friend at the end of the day. So I think even the ones that I missed something huge and took care of it, maybe they were a little bit peeved, but they would say that I had integrity in the deal. Okay? And that to me is what I was, I was a 17 years old veteran, and when joined the police to go serve some more, like that is me all day, is like taking care of people and, having integrity. So anybody want to share one or two or all of the things that you said?
So I'm not in the business yet, but
Doesn't matter.
I'm a hustler.
Woo!
I can be intimidating.
Don't.
I'm inspiring, I'm passionate, and friendly.
And I think you need to do whatever you're here to learn about doing, because all those things are strong. And like, whatever you're going to do, you're going to do it. I like that. I like all those answers. Sounds like somebody else I know too. That's really cool. That part of it right here, you just established like the things that mean something to you. If you took the time and popped in your head when I said, what do people think about you? This lives in your brain. So these are the things, whether you like these things or you don't like these things, that's fine, but these are things that you're thinking about yourself, and that's where mindset comes in. If these things are strong and you're a badass and you're friendly and you're trustworthy and you're the expert and you don't fall on your face and you trip over things, that's great. Show that. Shine the light on it. If it's something like me, I cry a lot, I'm vulnerable. I didn't put it on here, I should have, because that's strong too. Like we can really dig deep into these lists, but at first I just want to get you a good idea of thinking of what, people say personal brand, but what is it? We're gonna figure this out. Think about big brands like Nike. They're like, just do it. Doesn't Nike give you that feeling? You're like, all their commercials and their branding and the people they support, they're just gonna do it. They're gonna go out there and they're gonna be a badass. And I don't know, I'm all sports, so let me try to think of something else. Victoria's Secret. I don't know what their slogan is, but you can think they're all sexy and soft and lacy, and they make you feel good too, right? Like all of the things are trying to make you feel your best. And so when you're writing down what your clients think about you or your business, I would say put down some things like educated, expert, leader, advocate. You're advocating for home ownership and home ownership rights and breaking barriers to ownership and stuff like that. Like, you're looked at as such a leader that they trust you with their thoughts. They're definitely going to trust you with their business. So if you're going to be trustworthy, you're going to be you. Like, I'm that way too, but I'm funny and I say the F word. So you can be the expert. It doesn't have to look like it always looks. It doesn't have to be suit and tie. You can be the expert and look any kind of way. Have pink hair and be the expert. And I love all those ladies that wear the color. I like the men that wear the shoes that match the shirts. Like style is big. So be stylish in your brand and be stylish in selling yourself, because that's what your brand is. You're selling yourself. Trustworthy, fun. That's another one that the old school would kick that out. We're fun. We're fun. We're gonna make this deal fun. It's not gonna be hard. It's not gonna suck. It's gonna be, we're making friends for life, and I care about your family. It's just how you carry yourself. Like you carry yourself well, so people are just gonna think, yeah, she's new to the business, but not new to business. You don't always have to be new. I'm 42 years old. I promise you, I had a lot of careers before real estate. So I've been in for 5.5 years. People are like, you seem so young. I'm like, yeah, but I've seen some stuff. Like, all that. Under this well moisturized skin. A lot of grit. Okay. 5 things you're passionate about. Well, passion is important. I'm just going to move this up and I'm going to talk about passion. How many people have been in real estate less than 2 years? Okay, we got a couple. 2 to 5. 5 to 10. And 10 and up. Okay. 1 to 2 years, you're learning your craft, okay? There are a lot of people who support you just in general in business. Your broker, your friends, your lender, your title. I always talked in my team. My team does this, my team does that, my team. And so my team, I wasn't lying, I had a broker, I had a manager, I had a title guy, I had a lender, and they were all my team. And if I had questions, I could ask them. And I had Becca Riccardi, my mentor and person who brought me to real estate. But when you're talking about your team, stuff like that. Like my team, you're building your clout, you're educating yourself. 2 to 5 years, you're producing. You're in the middle of the thick. You're probably getting closer to 5 years. Like, why am I doing this anymore? I can't even can't even breathe. And if you made it to 5 to 10, I think that you've got systems going on, you've built in place your schedule. You cannot be running around like a 1 to 5-er, because that, unless you're Iron Man, and then, you know. But anybody over 10 years and stuff, you're probably well systemized. You go on vacations, you do all this stuff. So everybody needs to appreciate the level that they're in and talk about it. Like, I didn't go in year 1, and I'm like, I'm gonna make you a seamless transaction on my social media. No, I'm like, I'm shoveling rocks for clients who can't afford it, you know what I mean? Because that's what I can do, you know, that kind of a thing. Like, I didn't have like the regular way up. I did serve my clients, and so if you're on level 3, don't be chasing down level 10, because you're gonna get lost in those rungs that you miss. Even if you can get up there for a second by copying what you can see on the surface, you have no idea the iceberg of a business that runs beneath the surface when you have any kind of business going on. It's a lot. And you should respect the people who might be grumpy and in the business a long time because they're tired of you. Do what they said the first time, and now it's the 10th time, so they're not talking to you anymore. If they don't talk to you anymore, you need to start doing some stuff that they told you in the past. So things being passionate about will keep you in the business no matter what level you're in. So one reason I brought up the levels of years is like I got to this point last year where I was like, well, I sold 165 houses. I haven't seen my kids. I'm going through a divorce. I'm exhausted all the time. I lost tons of weight, and I was like, wow, I need to like really think about like what I'm passionate about, because it wasn't the money. I was passionate about getting out of the house and realizing that I could leave my husband soon enough. And so once that happened and I was back to just working again, I'm like, what is my new passion? Because now I've been through so much new stuff, right? And so educating agents who I failed at teaching. Like I literally was like, okay, this is what I did. You know, and then I wouldn't understand like what did it take, because I didn't get trained, I didn't get coached. And so when I lost the passion of the chasing the dollar sign, I had never had a mentor to teach me about this stuff. I had never had a mentor to teach me about like, well, Candy, you're in all these leadership positions, why do you think you're in leadership? And I'm like, because I have to be the expert. And they're like, well, that's at first. But now, what do you think? And I'm like, well, I love it. I love it. It's my favorite thing. I like going to the meetings and know what's happening in town and like helping people with homeownership and stuff like that. Like, so it turned into something different than it was at the beginning. So when you're building your brand, you need to make sure that you're building in a way that makes sense to where you're at, where you're going, and it's going to change all the time. So when you think about your passions, think about things like you would like to change in the world, things that some things happen to you, you've been bullied, you've been treated differently because you're a woman, you've been treated differently because of the color of your skin, you've been treated differently for no reason known to man. That's where I was like, I'm successful. I got an AMG, got a Rolex. I sold almost $1 million in commission last year. Why is it still me, what I look like? Why? And so instead, I'm like, let me just go out and be an example to women of what success means. And we lose it when we have kids because we want to stay at home, and we lose contact with our friends who have kids different times than us and stuff like that. Oh, is it he's dying? Yeah. So when you're passionate about it, it's going to take you through those lonely times where you're leveling up and out of your current level, and the people don't understand you anymore. And so you might start getting haters, especially people who they just don't understand where you're going. You don't look like the same person, maybe you dress differently, you talk better, but you're elevating yourself and you can't let that thought hold you back. So write down the things you're passionate about. You want to be the best person that you can be for your kids. You want to be the best person you can be for the kids coming up, your parents. You want to see them in a better home, your own life. You want to be financially stable, not stuck in a relationship, not stuck in the current job that you're in, whatever. Like, the things that you need to be passionate about cannot be money. It has to be a direction. It has to be a mission. Okay, money's not a mission. Money gets us there. Money will come when you're on your mission. Keep doing your jobs. Keep doing good jobs. Like, don't forget about your job. Keep doing real estate and keep serving your clients the best way to be. These are, I'll go through these quick. You can fill these out as we're talking. But what makes you unique? What are you naturally good at? These are all questions that you need to think for yourself to do that. So my uniqueness is that military veteran. Okay, I moved from Oklahoma to Florida to Virginia, all over the place, Chicago, California, Washington State, Texas, now here in Arizona. So that makes me unique. Like there's all kinds of things that make you unique that other people might not. These are all things you're going to focus on when you're looking for people that you want to emulate. This is how we find our ideal client. This is an easy answer question. It's rhetorical. Your ideal client is a client that comes to you and they know you, like you, and trust you already. And you haven't had to do anything, pay $1 for that person and their trust because you built it online. And that's your best client. They come to you. You're not calling, you're not cold calling, you're not begging for business. People are like, I need to sell a house. Where's Candy's number? And they file through 5 years of shit and find my number. That's the kind of people that you want to be working with, okay? Mindset mastery. Anybody have a problem with go? Anybody have a problem with an idea that they have and they just haven't finished it yet? No. Okay. You got to believe in yourself, right? So I just now met with investors for the first time in my life. I'm a systems engineer. I'm building something huge, and I'm terrified. Okay? It's terrifying. And when you get down to it, it's terrifying to do it. Because how many people did I lose already by doing what I've done? And then now, again, but set your mindset that what you put down on these pieces of paper, what your brand is, what you're building into your business is going to be something that you'll fight for. You know, it's something you believe in. It's something like, even just real estate, thinking at the beginning, are you passionate about helping, if you want to sell houses and you're brand new, go to senior citizen communities. They are the best. They've already bought and sold houses. They like you because you're young and you have energy. They are going to be very patient with you. And there's so many nosy neighbors in those neighborhoods, you're going to know the whole neighborhood by doing 5 open houses. And you're going to be the resource in that neighborhood real quick. And then you're going to go to Safeway and you're going to take a $25, $50 business card. You're going to pair it with your title, your lender, your 210 home warranty company, whoever, to sponsor an event. Pay $100, get a $50 gift card. You teach a class on downsizing, upsizing, what it's like to go through probate, whatever it is. They have these templates if you get your senior real estate expert designation on NAR. They have templates. You just put them up on the screen, your name gets out there, you push it out on social media, your flyers are on the Safeway parking lot, people start to get to know you as the brand expert in your neighborhood. Do the things that you love. You find ways to be valuable and stop asking for business. Okay, that's one of the biggest things in mindset that you're thinking. We're leading with not tomorrow's dollar. We have to go earn that shit, and sometimes it sucks to go to work 10 hours a day and then have to still do some more work at night to build your brand because you have to build it. It doesn't get big all on its own. You have to start by getting an association. Go volunteer at Habitat for Humanity. Ring the bell at Christmas. Get your name out there, and it doesn't have to cost you any money. It just doesn't. Do open houses, put your face on your sign, pick a neighborhood, do that house every day, that neighborhood every day for a month, 5 days a week. Everybody in that neighborhood is going to know your name as a realtor. Way more than, hey, who needs a realtor on Facebook, and let the thousands of people chase them down. No, you're actually out there on the street with your face there. The open house doesn't matter if anybody comes to it. You take that open house, you pre-film a little thing like, hey, I'm going to be here tomorrow, 4-bedroom, blah, blah, come and talk to me. Put it on there, you go live at your open house, you call it virtual showings, whatever. It's kicking up your algorithm. You're getting known across every platform. Go to Facebook, buy, sell pages, Facebook, the art sell pages, homes for sale, homes for rent, Craigslist, Put yourself everywhere that there's an open house and keep doing it every day for 5 days a week for 30 days, and lots of people are going to know you're a realtor in that town, in that spot, in that area. That's how I got to stay closer to home. I stopped going to Marana. I'm going to Tucson. I just said I'm going to stay in Salary to Tucson Salary in Green Valley because I got enough business here. So I started just doing open houses in those neighborhoods, and I didn't have to drive an hour. So it's all about focus, top of mind marketing, and your mindset has to be that it's building. It's not going to be Rome in a day, I guess, if you want to use a cliche. You got to start like getting people who already know you and like you to like you enough to share your shit. And then, go seek out other people that are cool in different states. Hey, realtor in New Jersey, I like your page. You guys, you want to comment on mine? I'll comment on your shit. And you're like, yeah, cool. And then in the end, you like each other and you end up collabing and making a friendship and somebody referral network potentially, but it's not led by that. It's led with friendship. What took me so long to kick my own butt and start seeking out investors? Why did I wait so long? Because I've never asked anybody to buy my services. I've never sold anything. This thing I just wanted to do it because I like to give value. And so the systems that I want to build are far above my head as far as technology goes in AI, right? I got a duct tape advantage together where I can fix it, but if you don't kick it right into the right spot and tweak it over there, you're not going to fix it, so it's not a sellable product. It's just not. It's what it is. It works really, really good because I built it, but I want it to work for everybody and layer it on top of layers. And now I feel like I can go to the people who I know, who I respect and I admire and I trust with my brainchild and ask them to help. You know what I'm saying? So when you build your brand big enough, that's when you can say, oh, hey, other realtors, clients, this and that, I'm doing this. And then if you want to come to my event, I'm hosting a new buyer event, you can win a $50 gift card to Safeway. They've already seen you out there hustling and doing your thing. So that person would be cool to me in person, right? Like, it's all about making yourself friendly. Be a friend online. Okay, next one. I'll say it what he does. It's ABC. Always be closing. This is what they used to teach you. Always be closing. Buy, sell. Buy high, sell low. All that, right? These are the old school thoughts. Always be closing. Buy low, sell high. Always money, competitive, who's going to be the best, who's going to sell the most, all that stuff. We want to take all of that out because Einstein said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing more than once and expecting a different result. So apparently we need to tell that to a lot of people because there's a lot of things we need to try differently. Throw all that out. Let's lead with value. Let's lead with actual care. Let's lead with we're going to do you a good job so I'm worth the value that I'm offering before I start offering it. We want to bring better than this into the business world, the real estate world, our lives, our friends, all that stuff. So now we're going to always be creating, okay? Now, I know y'all probably made fun of somebody like me who's always videotape everything. He filmed me driving down the road with my phone, videoing the sunset. The thing with that is, though, you need to be filming everything because when stuff comes up, how many people are stuck on, I don't know how to make enough content. I don't know what to do. I need content, Yeah. Okay, so create curiosity in your world. Create curiosity into this, because if you're curious about something, the people that are going to like you and likely be like-minded and likely follow you and their friends are likely going to follow you as well, are going to also have curiosity towards that thing. Whenever I go to an event, I always record the event and I hype up the promoter and I do all the things like that because I'm there. It's exciting. I love it, and all the people back home need to see what they're missing. They want to see it. People want to see who you are. When they said business is all about people being your friend now. Would you work with somebody who thought was nasty?
Nope.
That's why we're taking them out. They can't get on social media and do anything good. They suck. They're good at business, but they're not going to be no bedside manner. So that's the thing. Everybody, the piece of the pie is so huge. We don't have to keep fighting with each other. We want to be creating. We want to say, hey, I saw my friend who's a realtor in the same area. Oh my God, I saw her at an event and we had such a great time. High five, high five. Are you stealing each other's clients now? No. There's too many people in this town. I'm a veteran. I say F. She's polite, nice, and she doesn't. And so the people who don't like to hear F work with her, and the ones that want me to tell it to them straight like that work with me, and we go. We're not competing all the time against each other. Just be the best version of you, and the business will come. And the people who aren't being the best versions of them eventually will fail. And you have to believe that it's not sustainable against people who are just being authentic and true in themselves. is not sustainable for the fake people to stay fake anymore. Because we can see that that's not real. You know, like you can't tell me anybody who owns a business, anybody who does as much business as I've done has not struggled to get there. Like if they've ever held it with a silver spoon, unless they took that and ran with it, they're not going to do anything with it. It's not just going to sustain itself. So when we take away the fact that nobody's perfect and a bunch of these people are phonies, but we're real and we make mistakes and we celebrate our successes and stuff like that with everybody online in the hugest way possible, that's how you get more people to know who you are, and that's how you get more people to work with you. You know, like I'm not just listed, just sold. You can look at my page and you probably don't even know I'm a realtor. But, you know, everybody else does because they know that that's what I make jokes about and stuff like that. Like, I'm not selling myself as a realtor. I'm selling myself as a brand. And that's what somebody asked me the other day, how do you get away with saying fuck? I'm like, well, I'm not trying to sell a house. I'm not like on the MLS number 20222. This fucking house is amazing. No, no. I do professional stuff for that. So that's totally two separate things. And people are like, oh, you're so unprofessional because you say the word F. I'm like, well, I'm not being professional with my social media people. I'm being friends with them. So, that's what I have to say. Like, be fearless in your own self. All right. Always be creating. Success equals fulfillment. Because I've been here big time. Without here, and that sure did not feel like this at all. Okay. I've been here without this, and this even felt better. Okay. But combining the two that is what we can sustain. That's what they say. Find a job you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. Like for real, those old words that this is important. If you have reached success and you have no fulfillment, why? Why? What's your why there? Nothing. It's sad. It'll go away too. So we lead with value, and these are the things. I'll do examples in my own business. Like I said, I got my first listing on my third open house. A lady was a secret shopper. She comes over, I tell her about the house, I show her all my energy, and she's like, I love your energy, will you come to my house? I want you to list my house. And so I went to her house, and the whole rest of the open house, I was like figuring out how to do a listing. I didn't want to look stupid. So I went over there and I told her all about the house, and I asked her if she had any HOA violations, and she did. And you're in Arizona, and I've never done this in Arizona before, so I had to fill her whole front yard with gravel. The whole front yard. Most people are like, oh, gravel. Well, no, not like the whole damn thing. So she had a violation. She had no money to do it. She needed to put the rocks on so we could get the most value. So I asked her, I said, you have 125 bucks? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have them dump some gravel in the front yard. I got a shovel and a wheelbarrow, and I'm gonna do your house, and I'm going to gravel it up. So we did that. We sold it. That year and the next year, she gave me 10 deals. Yeah, and still coming. Because she's like, I can't believe you're doing this. And I'm like, aren't we trying to sell this house? Like, we're a team. And when you treat your clients like you're a team, and you take them the description and you say, hey, here's what I wrote down. Can you look at it for me and see if there's anything that you love about the house that I might have missed? They feel engaged inside of your deal. So that's not social media, but that's just the relationship building portion of it. Lead with value. So I bought a moving truck to put my face on. I said, hey, buyers, you guys can use this to move your shit. Right?
Or sellers.
So I sold up. I pulled up to drop off the truck so they could use it, right? And I was so excited I was there to help them move. And I was like, I see. It's brilliant, right? So I call up everybody I know, and I'm like, I need you guys now at this address. We're moving a house. We're doing what? Get here. Like, I don't care. How much money you want, we're doing this. So I got them over, we moved the house, and then that turned into Bowen Moves. Because we found a pain point in the transaction. I live in a senior citizen community, right? Nobody's got buddies that are coming over for beer or pizza to move couches in that neighborhood. And that's just the truth. So I found a pain point, and I started offering it to my seniors. The word got around. I started offering it to my local moves. I started offering it to my schools and things like that. So that truck that I bought to just say, hey, here's the value. People have been asking me for trucks all the time. And that turned into an idea I got from a different agent, turned into a whole company. That now I do earned value. So when I post that online, and I post it on my social media, and I post it as the hardest working member of my team, right? I'm earning the value, and then I make a website with it to say how much it costs to rent it out without using me as a realtor. So it's earned value. So you have to show them the numbers. It costs $3,000 to rent this truck. And for guys, it costs that much more money, and I'm offering you that for free. So when people are like, how do you handle commission questions and like what the reduction questions and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't have to. I've already shown them more value than anybody else has ever even thought about offering them in my listing presentation. So lead with value and you're not going to get beat. For real. Okay. Be authentic. This is why, so you don't have to be like, okay, I'm going to go put on my shirt and my tie, I'm going to stand like this, I'm going to talk like that, and and then you see them after the deal and you're like, hey, I actually liked you as a real person, but now I can't be because I put myself in this shell of person that I'm actually not. So instead, make friends with them like during the process, let them know who you are. People like me, people like you, I like all you guys, at least, yeah, that guy's not here anymore. No, I'm just I'm teasing. But you know, that's the thing, like, be yourself. Don't be scared. Be yourself, which is the most important thing. I think that's what we teach these days is conforming mindsets. We gotta get rid of those by collaborating with everybody, being authentic, being funny, because there's more about everybody that's alike than different if we were just ourselves, I think. Okay. Leverage. This is what I'm talking about with leveraging your friends and always doing, you can't do anything by yourself. You're going to fail, right? Even with my system, you can do about 70 deals a year without a transaction coordinator, but the wheels start getting shaky. You know, like you get like a little bit too much going on. Like you'd rather pay somebody at that point 40 grand to make your wheels not so shaky. So when you're leveraging your personal brand, this is where the growth happens. Year one, association, designations, rookie of the year, right? Well, rookie of the year 2017 didn't tell a damn soul. I didn't want anybody to know I was a rookie. It's ridiculous. I didn't even put it on my signature line until I was 5 years in. So that's an industry thing. But inside of my industry, I saw that as clout, right? And so I want to do educating. I've always done that. So I leveraged the fact that I won the Rookie of the Year to get myself in any committee that I really was interested in because I had the clout to do so. So I started getting into that, and then I leveraged it all the way up into the chair of the Young Professionals Network. And I'm telling you, the whole time, it's all building my brand on social media. And when I was the chair of the Young Professionals Network in Tucson 2021 last year, we took an event that we've been doing for years, and the most we'd ever made was like $7,000. I added a small piece and a social branding component, and we made from $6,000 a year before to $54,000 in one night. I made subcommittees. I made everybody feel important. I got everybody to talk to their friends to be sponsors. I brought together a beautiful group of people who could see how big it was getting because of our social media, and we all connected into a good formed group of a team, right? So I leveraged the fact that I was put as a recruit chief petty officer in charge at 17 years old in the Navy as a joke, but crushed it. Yeah, they always pick the first person, who's the youngest. You go. We're gonna figure out who's the leader in a minute after they spit you out. I beat everybody. I beat everybody out. We had marching. We did through the winds. I was so good because I wasn't scared. And so, saying with my team, I was like, I'm not scared to say that we're going to raise this much money because it puts a little bit of pressure on you. You know, put a little fire on your feet. So when we work as a team, we work better. We have people to talk to be there for, to show up for. If I said I was going to do 30 videos in 30 days, I might skip a day or two. But if I was going to do 30 videos with my best friend Alexa every day at 11 o'clock, you better believe I'm showing up. You know, I'm showing up every day, because if I don't, first of all, I don't lose to nobody. Second of all, I let her down. You know, so you're leveraging that, and she's a friend of mine that I leverage because she's big time. She's in Connecticut. We do stuff together. It grows both of our brands. We'll get there. Cross-Pollinating. So identifying your market content priorities. Now, we've already identified our lovey good stuff, right? Things we do good, things like that. And so we kind of verified our identity. Like, what is the identity I have right now? Do I like my identity? Do I like what people say about me? Did I write down on the sheet what's actually my brain of what I think people think about me, or did I write something I thought would look good, even though nobody's looking at those? But I used to do that. I used to always do that. I used to always worry. Even when I take like psych eval for the police, I'm like, what do they want me to say? I know it's really hard to answer a question and not think, what do they want me to say? So when you're alleviating that, just like try to identify yourself in a way that it's not hard to think about. It's just what it is. You know, somebody was stuck with their car, broke down on the highway or on a crossroads, and people are honking at her, flipping her off. I'm dressed like this. I jump out. It's a huge SUV. I tell her, I'm like, hey, I'm going to push you. Put your foot on the brake. Put it in neutral. When I say go, let go of the brake. She says, you're not going to be able to push this huge car. And I said, don't worry, I'm not going to have to do it by myself. Because I knew the outcome. Got out there, dressed in my heels, big old truck, right? Sure enough, there's 6 big dudes to come around and help me. My identity is a leader, right? I have to. I don't just do it. I am it. So I knew that if my little butt got out of the car and tried to push an SUV full of kids into traffic, they were going to help me, and I knew it. I just knew that they would. I felt that they would. So that's when you believe in your identity and you believe who you are, you're helpful. You like to be patient. You like to be a calm place for people who are in a chaotic situation, because that's lovely, you know. There's all kinds of things that's beautiful about your strengths that other people could lean on when they need to, you know. So know your identity. That's one of the best things to do on social media. Motivation. Your motivation can't be money. I've already said that, right? I want to make X amount of dollars a year. Great. Then what? You want to make X more amount of money and then X more amount of money? I found myself being like, okay, if I did 1 million in commission, okay, and that's really when it got to be, what am I doing this for? I have plenty of money. I don't see my children. I'm exhausted. I'm sure we've all been there, right? It's just exhausted. You're just exhausted of the whole damn thing. So my real estate business started picking back up when I started being able to do these things. Because I had joy and love and the thing, teaching. I had teaching, and I wasn't learning anymore, so I wasn't like, that didn't drive me. I'd already made it to the top of the list, so that didn't drive me. And now this stuff drives me because it's the thing that I think is so important for just people to know in general in business is like you can use what you do in yourself to build a business without paying for advertising. You can do that, and there is a big point for that. And in my book, there's a whole big old thing on spending money on your business, but that's not where to start. Like, you want to start authentic so that you can feel good about it at the end of the day. You start off with it being grimy, doesn't matter how big it gets, it's still grimy at the core. No. So business-wise, freedom of time. Anybody's look for that in a motivation? Yes. I know all the parents in the room do. So freedom of time, freedom of financial freedom, freedom from worry of your generational existence. Like freedom from worry of when you die, what is your kids going to do? Like if you leave this world before they do, and you haven't laid a groundwork of betterness for the community of the home, for your home, and your children to grow up and be their best, you know, I think that's a big why. You need to be the best you could be so you can show your kids what that looks like. Or young people, or old people, or that grumpy boss that you have, maybe you can kill them with kindness and show them a better way. You know, you don't have to yell at people all the time. You can be kind. And the motivation of it all for me is that I do think I can make a difference in businesses and how businesses run their businesses. You know, that's, for me, that's, I think we can give more opportunities to places that don't have it because we're missing out on a lot of talent by not doing so. You know, everybody talks about making a difference in the world, but like, what level do you need to get to start doing that? I don't think it's very high. Expertise. So expertise is like one of those things, everybody wants to get it, everyone wants to be the expert, everyone wants to say they're the expert, but there's not a lot of realtors who are actually experts at what is on the contract.
Right.
Okay. I can say what's section 6 and nobody would know. So expertise, now this is really where you can dig in and you can become something real, okay? So when you go through something in a situation, you have to call your broker. They give you an answer, you answer it, and move on with the day, right? I say if that same thing ever happened again, ever in your life, you're wrong. Because you didn't research why it happened, how could possibly happen again, when in the transaction, what moment in the transaction should you check this? Because even if it was a solar system sold on a foreclosure, but the solar system wasn't attached to the loan on the title on Schedule B, it was still a problem at the closing date, right? We bought a house, my buyer bought a house. There was a solar system on it. It was not attached to the home. It was not on Schedule B. Most people don't even know what Schedule B is, but it's where you find problems in the title preliminary report. It's important. I know people are married there, you don't know about it. You got a lot of little juicy details in the Schedule B right there. So take a look at that. But like we had a house. Solar wasn't attached to the home by a lease, so it wasn't. Or it wasn't attached to the home as a lien. It wasn't on Schedule B. At the end of the day, when we got to the underwriter on the loan, it was there as a personal loan, not attached to the home, but not property of the home. So it was property of somebody else's on a home that my client was trying to purchase that did not belong to that home. Uh-oh.
LOL.
Yeah, so we've never seen that before. Nobody had. My brokers hadn't seen it. Title company didn't see it. I'm going to say something right here. The title company tried to squeak it under my nose like I missed something, and I'm like, I don't miss shit. Let me double check. She sent me a preliminary report she said she forwarded to me. I took it, it said it on there. I was like, I would have noted this because, you know, I have a system to do it. So I went back to the original email and she added 2 things to the bottom of Schedule B. That was wrong. Okay, I didn't put a nose in it. None of us had seen it. It sucked. I actually gave up my entire commission because this was a friend of mine with 3 kids and no home. So we paid for the solar system. I said, I'll give my commission. You give whatever. They match my commission because it was an investor. And my client ended up with a free solar system, no liens, no loans on the house. And she kept asking me, why can't we just close and deal with this later? And I said, because when you try to sell this house, it becomes a problem. I don't want to be the reason for it. Okay? So I guarantee you when she sells that home, I'll get my commission back. But regardless of it was the right thing to do, nobody was wrong. It had never been seen before. And now we have a checklist for it, and now the association's aware of it. Now, you know what I mean? Like, it's something that when it's the first thing to happen, I did the right thing in my mind. I closed the deal. We could have held it on and on and on. She'd probably lost it. I had lost the deal anyway. I thought I'd get $0, right? So that made me an expert because then I went and started studying up what else is possible here. And you find out a lot of stuff that makes sense why we have disclosures and things like that. So if you have a problem that you run into that's like that, or you forgot to check the box that said the seller was paying for the home warranty and the buyer ended up having to pay for it, and then you ended up paying for it for your commission because you're not a dick, because you forgot to put the check box. All of those things keep in mind, write them down, put them on a checklist. Hey, when you're reviewing the contract prior to sending it, did you make sure you check the right box on who's paying for the damn warranty? You know, like be real and be really thorough with your expertise on the deal, because when you are able to rattle that off then to a client down the line a year from then, you're talking about a solar system, you're like, yeah, we have this crazy story, blah, 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 all that stuff. They've never heard anybody talk about a solar system in that detail before, especially not a realtor who usually doesn't even know what the lease looks like. So you're always dripping your expertise in, you know, like well shares. Who knew at the beginning of your career that you couldn't have an FHA loan with more than 4 well shares? Uh-oh, that happens a lot, especially in manufactured home communities on agents that have no idea that that's a thing. You know, like, spout your expertise to people because no other agents probably told them that. I say that on a phone call. Somebody calls me about a manufactured home, and I'm like, oh, let me look up the well shares. They're like, oh, what does that matter? I'm like, oh, you're getting an FHA loan because on FHA loans you can't get one if it has more than 4 well shares. Bam, you just blew them away with expertise in 1 second. You know, be the expert when you're making content online. I do a lot of funny stuff. I know my stuff so good that I can be funny about it, right? I did a VA loan one where I had a bad VA loan, I beat a Tidewater, and I celebrated that shit, and I don't care that nobody besides realtors knew what that meant, but I took down a Tidewater, and I felt good about it, because who can take down a Tidewater? Like, not many people. So you're just spouting your expertise, because my market is to market to agents who want to believe in me and believe I know what I'm talking about, so they find that funny. Okay, we take that over to making it something funny towards like a client or something like that through humor and easily digestible information. They're picking up that you're funny and you're a realtor, and boom, and you keep hitting them with that, and all day you're going to become their realtor online. You know, you're constantly, you know, I don't care if you're talking about your kids, I don't care if you're talking about baseball, I don't care if you're talking about building a house, anything like that. It doesn't always have to be related to business. You just want to be on the internet every day as much as you can, and spouting your expertise as much as you can. Don't just do, hi, I'm in front of a just listed. I'm like, oh my God, it's 115 degrees outside and this lockbox is hot and I'm about to touch it and grab it with a hot mitt. You know, because it's funny, but I'm a realtor doing my thing. Okay. I think it's funny for brand new agents to clock how long it takes them to write their first contract by themselves.
Hour and 73, right?
Yeah.
Hour and 47 minutes.
Exactly. I mean, just get on there and say how long it took you to do it then.
Forever.
And then now, and you can do one of the versus things, like you can constantly making content based off of stuff that's related to business, and you're attracting your people, right? The skill set that you need for social media growth and personal branding growth is you need to have the ability to not be perfect. Okay, perfection equals paralyzation when it comes to content creation. Your skill set is going to be getting out on each platform who your crowd is, who your people are, what their age group, what do they like, things like that, because you can deliver one message in 5 different ways. The message remains constant, the delivery is how they want to be fed information. Okay, so you're not lying, you're not tweaking the message, you're taking the message that you want to give, and you're saying, okay, I'm going to put this on Facebook, I'm going to take a pretty picture of myself standing on a stage, I'm going to say I got a leadership award, I'm going to write a whole long thing about leadership, whatever, that. Instagram, I'm going to do a 1-minute reel, I'm going to take the 1-minute cool things that I said on that stage, accepting my leadership award, put it to some music, put some inspiration next to it, like you could be the best person that you could be, what's up, share it on my story, make it a reel, share it on my story, have everybody share it back. That, go to TikTok, make something funny about it, or make something quick about it, less than 90 seconds, just like put a crown on or something, holding the thing, you can use the same, you're getting the message out that you're a leader. Now, how these people want to get this message is totally different. Some people might even be on 2 different platforms, and they're going to be like, I see what you did there. You know, you're not using the same videos or the same exact content, you're using the same message. So you're not going to go take something that you recorded on one thing, unless it's a long form. This is long form, I'm recording long form. This goes on YouTube. Okay? You can make it 1-minute shorts, which are also going to be your 1-minute reels, and they're also going to be your 1-minute Facebook reels, and you can take those and take them down to TikTok. You don't want to do too much on TikTok about talking or speaking or anything. People don't want that right now. Take them to your Instagram page. If you've done something really cool on a stage, or you've done something cool in a deal or something, do a quick thing on TikTok, and then your TikTok link to your Instagram, and you can go ahead and have them go that way. Share it over both sides. So you're taking each message that you want to deliver. I sold a house. I sold 10 houses. I won an award. I came to an event. Whatever that is, TikTok, take some B-roll, take like 3-second snippets, put into a 15-second thing, put some music on it, and tell them how much a badass you are. You know, Instagram, you're going to take your little pieces that you like from what I said, make your little comment about it. I went to this amazing class today. I'm going to start doing personal branding. I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to spend an hour a day blog contenting, whatever it is, and then you post it, and then people see you going out there being educated. Everybody likes to see you getting educated on what you're doing, no matter what it is. They want to see that you have that hustle in you, that you're not going to just be floating down the lazy river every Sunday and they can't get a hold of you. You're out here doing your thing, right? You're getting better so that you can serve them better. So all these different things are really, you know, the skills that we have, the skills that we do, the skills that we need to be able to use a cell phone. Okay? Everything else you can learn. You know, editing, I have editing workshops, content creation workshops, templates, stuff like that. If you guys want any of that, I don't charge for anything. Literally from the beginning to the end, teach it down so that people can not feel scared about the technology of the thing. Because the technology of the thing is learnable. YouTube, come to classes, calling people, get them in or whatever. But the skills that you have are the skills that you do every day. The skill that you need the most is to just be brave enough to look stupid and record yourself all the time. That's what everybody thought about me at first, but then now they're like, oh wow, look at her go. Look at Candy's doing, she's making some shit. You know, where at first everybody's like, hey, you got your phone out all the time. I'm like, just trust me. It's gonna go somewhere, I promise. The big followers. We want followers, right? Okay.
Yep.
A unique idea that I do is I collaborate with people in my own market and say, hey, let's get together in a group of 10. Let's talk about social media. And then also when everybody posts, why don't we tell everybody that we're posting, and so we all post on each other's shit, like it, get to know each other. People you already talk to, you already like, you already comment on their shit. You just get together and say, hey, let's learn this thing together. Okay? Doesn't matter if they're a realtor, a lender, or whatever. Like I said before, if we don't compete, we're going to do better. Like it's the nastiness of the world has got to be destroyed, because like everybody thinks, oh God, if I give them a leg up, then I'm not going to get a leg up. Or if I chop their knees off, then somehow I'm going to elevate and be bigger. It doesn't work that way. You know, if you want to learn something, the fastest way to get there is to get around people who are doing the same damn thing and go there. Some people are going to fall off and leave them. Some people are going to come into your world or pull you up. Do that too. Somebody told me, always have one hand down, pulling somebody up, but always have one hand having somebody pull you up. When you get here and you're like, where's everybody else? You're holding on to too many people. And that's important. I guess I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Like when you were getting onto personal branding and social media, it's so new. It's one of those things like, you know, nobody thought that Netflix was going to take over Blockbuster, because who could take over a monster?
Another monster.
And then Blockbuster tries to think, oh no, shit, this whole thing, people like it. We're going to do Blockbuster Express. Who's heard of that? No? Okay. Exactly. Like, get on the bus. Don't be scared. Netflix was like, I don't care if Blockbuster thinks it's a big bad bully. I'm going to bring it to the people with more value and more convenience. And I trust that it's going to work. You think they beat Blockbuster day one, month one, year one? No, but they took them out. It's a slow, sad death. But, you know, sorry Blockbuster, you got on the train a little bit late, right? Wisdom is always going to beat perfectionism. Okay? Be wise enough to know nobody cares if you're perfect. Everybody's not perfect. If we waited to be perfect every single time, we'd all be stuck in quicksand. Because first we wouldn't be able to make money to go do shit, even the same shit that we need to be doing now, and we're paralyzed into perfection. If you know for sure that your idea is going to go somewhere and it's going to make money, and you're going to do the things that you want to do, you're going to be fulfilled, even if you have to make a little bit less money to do so, in the meantime, go after it, because you're wise in your own mind. You're wise in your mission, and you're wise in what you're going to do and what you want to do. Don't ask questions of everybody else. I got that paralyzed me. Is this okay? Do you like this? Do I look okay? Is my hair okay? You know, like, go look at yourself. Good. Let's go. Yeah. So wisdom meets perfection. You know, perfection comes when you hire somebody to do it for you. Then you can tell them that's their job, is to be perfect. You know, your job is to get out the wisdom. Your job is to be wise in your own mission. Your job is to go and do. And get out there and believe in yourself. That's the wisest thing. Believe in yourself. Read this research and do better. Bubba Hunt is the one who gave me my moving truck idea to move stuff. He didn't make a moving truck business. He didn't make a staging business out of it. He took it, I took it, gave him the idea, gave him the clout all the time, because this man sold 300 houses, his first year real estate. Guess what this brave woman did? Hey Bubba, I heard you sold 300 houses your first year in real estate. How the hell? People are going crazy that I sold 50. And he told me about his truck, and he told me he was a used car salesman. So he took that experience and expertise that he had in that client base, bought a truck, put his face on it, and then made marketing out of it. Genius, right? So, research and do better. Your homework is really hard homework, but you're going to hate it. Spend an hour a day researching accounts with good personal brands that speak to your brand. This is how you get started making content that matches your brand the fastest. This is important. You're going to start looking at lenders and realtors and funny lawyers and smart lawyers and scientists and doctors, and start looking at professionals on the social media platforms that you like that are doing really good. People products that you use DocuSign. Do you use a window company that you love? I promote brands. That's how I promote me. I promote other people. I come and I talk to them. I promote other speakers. I collaborate a lot with other realtors around the country because, like I said, I don't market to clients. At a very early time in my career, about 2.5, 3 years in, I stopped trying to do. I tried the lead thing and it sucked because I never did it, and then I did it and I hated it, and my team liked it, so I gave it to them. And I just started promoting myself online as the real estate expert, the funny realtor. And in leadership and stuff like that, I've connected with a ton of people who know me, trust me. And so in 2018, 2019, I had 30 and 40% referral-based business from other agents across the country. Just sending me people that are pre-qualified, ready to buy a house. So you don't have to always just be trying to get clients. You can just try to get lenders from all over the country. I mean, I talk to places in San Diego, and I'm like, hey, if I want to do an event there, because I'm promoting an event in October, and I did it for free, would you guys host it? And they're like, yeah. And so I do that, and I get in front of more people, and just be brave and ask and collaborate with others. Say, hey, I get my car washed here every Wednesday. You guys mind if I do a little post about how good you do? That's it. Nothing about real estate at all. But you're leveraging their brand and the people that like them, and then they like that you're showing off them, and they're like, well, they probably like each other, and watch your followers start growing as you promote others, not just yourself. It's really big. Collaborating could be making a video. I just did a pickleball thing with one of my friends at film festivals and stuff, and so he's doing this whole thing with pickleball, so I went out there, and it was just random, and we made two pickleball collaborations, and one of them was the biggest that I think I've gotten 12 or 1,300 likes on it and like 90 to 100 comments already, and we just happened to do it, and it was pickleball day, like National Pickleball Day the day before, and it was just random. You just see my likes and my followers when you post a good one and it's a new niche that you haven't been in before. The start of it is huge because people are like, oh, we love her, and they're liking it, and so you might not get that big push every time, but you're feeding them what they like. Right. So you know what I mean? You keep feeding them to maintain the thing. Don't just do it once and then never do it again, you'll lose followers. That's talking about cross-pollinating. This is a big one, and I don't know if you can see it very good, but cross-pollinating, that is where you go and you love the people that you work with. In the workbook, it says list your top 5 places that you go to in your neighborhoods, restaurants, car washes, the pet store, wherever you typically normally go that you wouldn't mind saying, hey, this place is great. You start doing that and then start putting together things with them like, hey, new homeowners in Tucson, if you want to have the best pet wash ever, come to this place. And then you become the expert of businesses in Tucson. And then people who are looking to buy houses in Tucson are going to go to you because you know where everything is. You're the expert. You've been telling them all about Tucson. So there's not a lot of people doing it here, so the market is pretty wide open. And Phoenix, I'm sorry, we're in Phoenix. Don't come to Tucson, stay here. Much better way. I don't even go to Tucson. Okay, content batching. Content batching is where you save your time. So every time you get ready to do a post and say you're going to go say something educational, you're going to talk about like Benzers, or you're going to talk about the market or the rates or whatever it is, and you're going to get in front of a camera and you're going to talk. You gotta get yourself ready, you gotta get your hair ready, you got your makeup on, you gotta get your light ready, you gotta get the phone stood up, you gotta get all of that stuff to go, and if you have other people coming to help you, you gotta wait for them. So, content batching, people are like, oh, how do you block off 3 hours twice a week to do your batching? Well, because otherwise it would take me about 16 hours. If you calculate me taking a shower, getting my hair curled, getting the lights set up, making sure I got everybody around, and if I just say, no, these 3 hours are no nonsense are the hours that I'm going to be making content, I can at least get out my reels for the next few days. Your stories, you just do them on the spot. But like, you have reels and stuff to do. So in Instagram and Canva and all kind of different platforms, and I'll be going deeper on these workshops, but all of those you can schedule out posts. So say you spend 6 hours one day doing 52 30-second holiday reels. National Ice Cream Day, National Hot Dog Day, da-da-da-da-da. You sprinkle that through your year, you've already got a year's worth of content in 6 to 10 hours. Scheduled out to just post. So when you're thinking about block contenting, you're thinking about saving your time so you have time to do other more innovative things and bigger stuff for your business and get your life back and go to your kids' soccer games and whatnot, So this I push a lot because habit forming is changing, life changing. So when you form a habit of every day, every morning, I pop onto my Instagram, my TikTok, YouTube. I don't look at Facebook very much, but I should. But anyway, I pop on there and I take care of my people. Anybody that commented on me, I comment back. Anybody who commented on me a lot, I go to their page and comment on them. Anybody who inboxed me, asked me a question, I answer those. Anybody who shared my story, I share those. Anybody who's posting anything cool, I share theirs onto my story. Like, I have a whole system every day to make enough touches where I'm making sure to love on and touch the people I care about and give them the information and the entertainment and the education or whatever they want. You give it to them all the time consistently, because if you're not consistent in your social media brand, then you're not consistent in your brand. You're not going to show up on time on an open house and stuff like that. Like, you want to be consistently doing the things in a habitual way so that you do them, because when they become habits and they're just no-brainers, think about how much more time you have to think about what content you're putting up instead of just making it there and looking nice. You have more time, you're going to get faster at the editing, you're going to get faster at the content, the words, you're going to get faster at what works and what doesn't on your pages, because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work that you think would work, but it doesn't work, and if it doesn't work and you can see why, take it down. The thing I want to leave you with is, before I got into social media, like, for real, I was in a bad place. I was killing it in business. I was going through divorce, all of this stuff, all this bad stuff, because I was trying to escape things. And when I found a culture and a community inside of TikTok and Instagram and Facebook that elevated me out of my local bullshit that I was in and got me up into some higher mindsets and some higher conversations. We don't just talk about stupid shit. We talk about big plans and empire building and stuff like that. So, like, social media has elevated my circle into a way where I don't have to be just in the little subdivision town that I'm in because I'm too big for it, right? Social media is as big as you need it to be for yourself. And so go give the gift of yourself and your braveness to be authentic and your braveness to do business in a different way. That's a gift that you're giving to the world. So it's not selfish. It's not selfish. Even if you can make money doing it and you're helping others and you got that fulfillment along with success, nothing's wrong with that at all.